Yeah, you can be great and you can do great things. Now, before you start thinking that is this like some kind of hope core video, no, it's a very real video, and I really urge you to think in very similar ways. So, because you've got to start living, you've got to start living as soon as possible. The reason why I say this is because, again, there is a limited amount of time. Despite obviously time being a man-made construct, it's still a very valuable tool. And yeah, you can do great things. You just need to apply yourself. Or maybe not even apply yourself. You might need to think and also draft before applying. So yeah, you might be in some unfortunate circumstance. You may have, extra responsibilities. You might have extra bills to pay. Yes, that is also perfectly normal. But there is a way out. And if you haven't recognized that, I'd urge you to do so. And you're probably like, why should I trust this random dude on the internet? That's a very valid point. You don't have to. I would like to urge a sort of beacon of hope in a sense, because it's really important for you to believe in yourself, man. In whatever kind of thing you wanna start doing. Because you don't want to grow up, end up dying, and then next thing you know, you have a bunch of regrets that stay in the graveyard. And there is more to life than just the suffering. Suffering does build character, but there is more. So obviously each day as humanity progresses into like a kind of a digital world, the opportunities that present itself are pretty much endless now. And because we're so early in the stage of obviously the whole internet of things, it just shows that there's still so much innovation to be made in this space. And so you can make use of this as an example. It doesn't have to be internet, it can be anything, but it's a very powerful tool. And I'm saying this because opportunities are more prevalent than ever. I don't mean that in a job sense. I understand there's a whole big fiasco with the whole job layoffs. It's pretty hard to find one. Yes, 100%. That doesn't mean that there's not other ways. So, despite the sort of crazy circumstances, despite how hard it may be, the solution is willpower. And a willpower to sort of figure the way out. That's number one, I'd say, because you can't really get very far without having that kind of drive to go forward. So, and maybe I'll cover willpower in a different video. Obviously, I think the sort of people having low energy in today's age is a big normal thing, and it shouldn't be like that. We should be kind of thriving with energy and full of energy, especially as sort of there's global trade now, so you can eat better foods, you can also live better lives, so on and so on. So yeah, it is doable. Whatever your dreams are, it really is. I may not know you, but I just know that it's doable. And even if you feel like that's a lie, you just lie to yourself then. And yes, you may have to work harder than some people, but if that's the case, that's the case. No one's gonna give you any kind of reward for wanting to work hard. So start living, despite the setbacks, despite all of the hardships that come along the journey. Because you can't keep letting like life kind of live you. You have to kind of take control of things, and in control of your life. You control your own life. And you can forge a path forward that you can look forward to. The kind of stuff that gives you goosebumps, and again, the goals are going to be very, very different depending on each of you. Again, maybe it might be financial, it might be spiritual, it could be physical, it could be mental, it could be anything, really. Again, the human brain is endless in terms of possibilities and creativity. So the same goes for the things that sort of come forward as a result of that, because it is doable. And I'm going to keep mentioning that because I want you to kind of understand that there is hope. And I mean, you might even see a lot of random influencers that are going viral and making money and living the life that you might like, and you shouldn't blame them. That's just the way the system is gamed in a way, They fine. And if they can do it, you can do it. Think more like that. Don't kind of bash certain people for all of that stuff. Or what do I know? I'm just a random dude on the internet, right? Anyway, so how do we go about kind of fixing this in a way? Or at least fixing and starting to create the life that means more to you, that kind of makes you want to wake up out of bed in the morning, which most people don't live. But it definitely is a sort of goal that you can work towards. 100% you can. And I'd personally start with facing your fears. Not taking action just yet, but a note of what kind of scares you. And I don't mean fears in the sense of, arachnophobia or fear of like other insects and stuff like that. I'm talking about fears of that are kind of holding you behind. These are things like maybe even the fear of the unknown, the fear of death, maybe the fear of being successful. You know what's crazy? There's a fear of being successful, a fear of having too much. Isn't that crazy? It's a real thing. You can look it up. And obviously, so there's going to be loads of other different things that we might, have and tie in towards anxiety, depression, all of that jazz, right? So you want to start taking notes of this. You want to start self-studying and finding out what you are. And this is a really tough thing to do, which is why I say just note them down. Don't take action just yet, because it's a whole nother step to take action on this. And then obviously once you can have enough courage and stuff like that to take action, then you do. Only that, but you sort of also want to find what makes you really happy at the end of the day. Like, what would the most ideal version of yourself do in a day? Start thinking, start imagining. It's free, there's no harm. And then I guess once you sort of have this image in your head of what the supposedly the end goal or lifestyle that you want, or this arc or era, because there will be more along the way once you achieve this, because it is doable, then we can make steps. And the steps of taking action, I should say, just going to take a light toe charge there. And for the majority of the steps that kind of follow the action sort of things, it's more so just planning. In a nutshell, I'm not here to kind of, talk way too much about it. It's just about planning. So it kind of goes in the sequence of like idea, planning, goal setting, and then following the plan. Pretty simple stuff. You don't want to complicate things, because when you start to do that, then again, it makes it complicated. It's going to be harder to stick to. Keep things simple, because again, if this is a new thing that you're going to start doing, then you're going to want to take slow steps basically. And once you start accomplishing things, then yeah, feel free to complicate as much as you want, because at least you've got the foundations right. You're not going to build a house with just the windows. You need to set the main structure. And not only that, but then you're going to obviously face some hiccups and bumps along the journey. That's normal. Everyone faces those things, whether you think they show it or not. And you should allow yourself to kind of go through these things and just kind of make a note of that these things will happen. Maybe they might last a day or two, even a month, even a week. You look at injuries of professional athletes, for example. Sometimes they take even up to a year, but that doesn't mean you should give up. It just means you should try your best given what you're given, really, and still forge your way forward. Think creatively. Creative solutions to existing problems. And on that note, I appreciate you guys for watching. Stay blessed, have a great day, and we'll be back in the next one.